The morning air on Kepler 442b was crisp and clean. Dr. Kim Dae-ho stepped outside the human research station and breathed deeply. The forest stretched endlessly in all directions. Tall trees swayed in the gentle breeze. Birds sang from hidden branches. It was a peaceful day on their new homeworld. Dae-ho had been living on this planet for 3 years now. He was the lead scientist at the small research outpost. His team of 12 humans studied the local wildlife and plant life. They sent reports back to Earth every month. Life was simple here. Life was good. The communication device on his belt started beeping. Dae-ho pulled it out and saw Dr. Park So-min calling from inside the station. "Dae-ho, you need to get in here right now," So-min said. Her voice was excited. "We have visitors coming." Dae-ho walked quickly back to the station. The building was small but comfortable. Solar panels covered the roof. Gardens grew around the sides. It looked more like a mountain cabin than a space research facility. Inside, So-min was standing at the main computer terminal. Her eyes were wide with amazement. Engineer Lee Han-sol stood beside her. Both were staring at the screen. "What is it?" Dae-ho asked. "Ships," So-min said. 3 large ships. They will be here in 2 hours. "From Earth?" Dae-ho looked at the screen. The shapes were strange. These were not human ships. "No," Han-sol said slowly. "These are alien ships. Real aliens are coming here." The 3 humans looked at each other. They had dreamed of this moment. First contact with alien life. But they had always imagined it would happen back on Earth. Not here on their quiet research world. "Are they friendly?" Dae-ho asked. So-min worked at the computer. "They are sending messages the computer is trying to translate." "Wait, here it comes." Words appeared on the screen. "Greetings, Human Research Station. We are the Galactic Federation Survey Team 7. We request permission to land. Our mission is peaceful scientific study." "Galactic Federation," Han-sol whistled. "That sounds official." "Should we tell them yes?" So-min asked. Dae-ho thought for a moment. These aliens had found their small station on a distant world. They could probably land whether the humans said yes or no. Better to be friendly. "Tell them they are welcome," he said. So-min typed the message. Within minutes, a response came back. "Thank you. Landing in 1 hour and 47 minutes. The humans spent the next hour preparing. They cleaned the station. They put on their best clothes. So-min made tea. Han-sol checked all the equipment. Dae-ho tried to stay calm. Other team members gathered as news spread. Cho-min-ki, a young researcher, was bouncing with excitement. Bae Sung-ho, their communications expert, set up recording equipment. Everyone wanted to witness this historic moment. The ships arrived exactly on time. They were beautiful and strange. The largest ship was white and smooth like a pearl. It had no visible engines or weapons. The 2 smaller ships looked different. One was dark and angular. The other seemed to be made of crystal that caught the sunlight. The ships landed in the cleared area near the station. They made no sound. No dust was kicked up. The landing was perfect. A ramp extended from the largest ship. Figures began walking down. The humans pressed against the windows to see. The first alien was tall and thin. Its skin was pale blue. It wore a white uniform with symbols on the chest. Behind it came others. One looked like a giant insect with 4 arms. Another was short and covered in silver fur. A 4th alien appeared to be made of living crystal. "Amazing," So-min whispered. Dae-ho opened the front door. He walked outside with his hands visible and empty. The lead alien approached. When it spoke, a small device on its chest translated the words into English. "I am Commander Vex of the Crystalline. Hegemony. I lead this scientific survey mission. You are Dr. Kim Dae-ho?" "Yes," Dae-ho replied. "Welcome to our station. We are honored to meet you." Commander Vex looked pleased. "Your people are new to us. We have much to learn from each other." The other aliens came forward. Commander Vex introduced them one by one. Lieutenant Kex was the insect-like being. He was in charge of security. The silver-furred alien was Chief Science Officer Nex. The crystal alien was Engineer Zill. "Please come inside," Deho offered. The aliens followed the humans into the station. They looked around with great interest. Their eyes examined everything. The simple furniture, the basic equipment, the hand-drawn charts on the walls. "Your technology is modest," Commander Vex said carefully. "We keep things simple here," So-Min explained. "We focus on the research, not fancy equipment." The aliens sat down for tea. It was a strange sight. These advanced beings from across the galaxy sitting at a wooden table drinking Earth tea. "Tell us about this world," Chief Science Officer Nex said. "Our scans show dangerous wildlife, large predators. How do you survive here?" Han Sol laughed. "It is not so dangerous. We just have to be careful. Watch where we walk. Make noise when we go into the forest. Store our food properly." "Make noise?" Lieutenant Kex leaned forward. His large compound eyes reflected the light. "That seems unwise. Predators hunt by sound." "Not all of them," Deho explained. "Some animals here avoid humans if they know we are coming. They do not want to fight us either." The aliens exchanged glances. Commander Vex made notes on a small device. "Our databases show apex predators on this world," he said. "Creatures of immense strength and aggression. How do your people deal with such threats?" "We have procedures," So-Min said. "Basic safety rules. Most of the animals here are more afraid of us than we are of them." "Most?" Engineer Zill asked. Her crystal body rang like a bell when she spoke. "Well, there are bears," Chominki said, from across the room. "They can be trouble if they get into the garbage." The aliens all turned to look at him. Their expressions were serious. "Bears?" Commander Vex asked. "Big brown animals," Minki explained. "They like to eat fish and berries. Sometimes they come near the station looking for food." Lieutenant Kex stood up quickly. "How big?" "Oh, pretty big. Maybe 300 or 400 pounds. They have big claws and teeth." The aliens looked alarmed. They began speaking rapidly in their own languages. Their translation devices could not keep up. Commander Vex turned back to the humans. "These bears are the apex predators in your area?" "I guess so," Han Sol said. "They are the biggest animals around here. And they come near your station?" "Sometimes. We just make sure they cannot get into our food storage. Usually they leave us alone." The aliens exchanged more worried looks. Commander Vex stood up. "We must cut this meeting short," he said. "My team needs to assess the threat level immediately. Thank you for the warning about these bears." The humans watched in confusion as the aliens hurried back to their ships. Within minutes, the vessels were lifting off. "That was strange," So-Min said. "They seemed really worried about the bears," Han Sol observed. Deho shrugged. "Maybe they do not have dangerous animals where they come from." None of the humans realized that their casual mention of living alongside 300-pound predators had just terrified some of the most advanced military minds in the galaxy. The Galactic Federation ships landed 5 miles away from the human station. Commander Vex wanted distance between his people and the dangerous predators the humans had described. His military training told him to establish a secure base before making any further contact. The alien camp was impressive. Energy shields created a protective dome over their landing site. Sensor arrays extended in all directions. Armed guards patrolled the perimeter. Everything was designed to keep dangerous creatures away. Lieutenant Kex stood in the command tent studying data on his screen. The insect-like alien had been awake all night analyzing the threats on this world. His compound eyes never needed to blink. His 4 arms worked constantly at different control panels. "Commander," Kex called out, "I have completed the initial scans of the area." Commander Vex approached the workstation. The tall blue alien looked tired. He had been worried about his team's safety since hearing about the bears. "What did you find?" Vex asked. Kex pointed at the screen. "The creatures the humans call bears are spread throughout this forest. I count at least 12 individual heat signatures within 10 miles of our position. 12 apex predators in such a small area?" Vex looked alarmed. "How do the humans survive?" "I do not know," Kex replied. "But there is more. Look at these readings." The screen showed biological data, bone density measurements, muscle mass calculations, bite force estimates. All the numbers were frightening. "These bears have incredible physical strength," Kex continued. "Their claws are 5 inches long, sharp enough to cut through metal. Their jaw pressure could crush our armor." Commander Vex studied the data. "What about intelligence?" "Unknown. But any creature that survives as an apex predator must be cunning. They probably hunt in coordinated groups." Other aliens gathered around the workstation. Chief Science Officer Nex peered at the screen with her silver-furred face. Engineer Zill's crystal body reflected the display lights as she examined the data. "These creatures are larger than the war beasts of Proxima 7, Nex observed. "Yet the humans live among them with no apparent weapons or defenses." "Perhaps humans are more dangerous than they appear," suggested Zill. Her voice rang like wind chimes when she spoke. Lieutenant Kex shook his head. "I scanned the humans yesterday. They have normal bone density for their species. Average muscle mass. No natural armor or claws. They should be easy prey for these bears." "Then how do they survive?" Commander Vex asked. No one had an answer. Security. Chief Knox entered the tent. The reptilian alien was 7 feet tall and covered in dark green scales. His species had evolved from predators themselves. He understood danger better than most. "Commander, my patrols have found something disturbing," Knox reported. "What is it? Follow me. You need to see this yourself." The group left the safety of their camp. Armed guards surrounded them as they walked into the forest. The trees here were thick and tall. Shadows moved between the trunks. Every sound made the aliens jump. After 10 minutes of careful walking, they reached a small clearing. Knox pointed at the ground. "There," he said. Deep gouges marked the bark of a large tree. The claw marks were 5 feet off the ground. Each scratch was as wide as an alien finger. The wood had been torn away in long strips. "The creature that made these marks was massive," Knox explained. "Look at the depth of the cuts. This tree is harder than steel. Only incredible strength could damage it like this." Lieutenant Kex took out his scanner. "I am reading traces of organic material in the scratches. Definitely from claws. The creature was marking its territory." "How big?" Commander Vex asked. "Based on the height and spacing of the marks, I estimate the creature was at least 8 feet tall when it stood on its back legs." The alien stepped back from the tree. 8 feet of muscle, claws, and predatory intelligence. The thought terrified them. Chief Science Officer Nex found more evidence nearby. "Look here. Footprints." The prints were pressed deep into the soft earth. Each one was as long as an alien hand. 4 toes with clear claw marks extending beyond each digit. "The stride length suggests this creature can move very fast," Nex said. "Despite its size, it could probably outrun most of our people." Engineer Zill knelt beside the prints. Her crystal fingers traced the outline. "These are fresh, made within the last day." "The creature is still in the area," Security Chief Knox concluded. "It could be watching us right now." The aliens looked around nervously. The forest suddenly seemed full of threats. Every shadow could hide a waiting predator. Every sound could be a bear approaching. "We need to return to base immediately," Commander Vex ordered. The group hurried back through the trees. Guards kept, their weapons ready. Sensors swept constantly for heat signatures. Everyone expected an attack at any moment. Back at the command tent, Lieutenant Kex ran more detailed scans. His findings were even more disturbing. "I have tracked the movement. Patterns of these bears," he reported. "They are not random. The creatures appear to patrol specific routes through the forest. They have established territories and defend them against intruders." "Organized behavior," Commander Vex noted. "That suggests higher intelligence than we first thought." "There is more. I detected signs that some bears have been near the human station recently. Tracks leading right up to their buildings. The humans are surrounded," Knox growled. "How are they still alive?" Chief Science Officer Nex had a theory. "Perhaps the humans have made some kind of agreement with the bears, a treaty or understanding. Or maybe the bears are keeping the humans as food sources," Lieutenant Kex suggested darkly, "saving them for when other prey becomes scarce." Engineer Zill disagreed. The humans seemed healthy and unafraid. If they were prisoners, they would show signs of stress. Commander Vex made his decision. "We need more information, but direct contact with the humans is too dangerous while these bears are active in the area. We will observe from a distance." "What if the bears attack the human station while we watch?" Knox asked. "Then we will learn how the humans defend themselves. That knowledge could save our own lives." That night, the aliens kept constant watch. Their sensors monitored the forest around both camps. Every alien slept with weapons nearby. Guards changed shifts every hour to stay alert. Around midnight, motion sensors detected something large moving through the trees near the human station. The creature was heading directly toward the research facility. In the command tent, alarms began to sound. Lieutenant Kex jumped to his screens. The heat signature was massive. "Definitely a bear." "Commander," he called urgently, "one of the creatures is approaching the human station. It will reach their perimeter in 5 minutes." Commander Vex rushed to the display. Other aliens gathered around. They watched the red dot on the screen move steadily toward the unsuspecting. "Humans. Should we warn them?" Engineer Zill asked. "Our communication might startle the creature," Knox replied. "It could trigger an attack." "The humans have survived this long," Commander Vex said quietly. "We need to see how they handle this situation. It may be our only chance to understand their methods." The aliens watched in silence as the heat signature reached the human station. They waited for sounds of battle, screams, weapons fire, some sign of the life and death struggle that must be happening. Instead, they heard nothing. The bear circled the station once, then moved away into the forest. Within minutes, it had disappeared from their sensors. "What happened?" Lieutenant Kex stared at his screen in confusion. "Why did it not attack?" "Maybe the humans were not outside," Nex suggested. "Or maybe," Commander Vex said slowly, "the humans have abilities we do not understand. Tomorrow we will learn their secrets. We must know how they survive among such monsters." The aliens spent the rest of the night in worried discussion. Meanwhile, at the human station, Dr. Kim Dae-ho slept peacefully. He had no idea that a curious bear had wandered past his garbage containers, found them properly sealed, and wandered away to look for easier food elsewhere. The simple bear-proof latches that kept the containers closed had just baffled the most advanced military minds in the galaxy. Commander Vex called an emergency meeting at dawn. His top officers gathered in the command tent. The mood was serious and tense. Everyone had heard about the bear that approached the human station during the night. "We cannot wait any longer," Vex announced. "These bears are a direct threat to both our mission and the human researchers. We must take action." Security Chief Knox nodded his scaled head. "I agree, Commander. My analysis shows these creatures are apex predators of the highest order. They show organized behavior and territorial intelligence." Lieutenant Kex activated the main display screen. "I have spent all night studying these bears. The data is frightening. Look at these strength calculations. Numbers and charts filled the screen. Bite force measurements showed crushing power, beyond most known predators. Claw sharpness tests indicated cutting ability that could slice through advanced armor. Speed estimates suggested the bears could outrun most galactic species. 400 pounds of pure muscle and aggression. Kex continued. Their bone density is incredible. Their reflexes are lightning fast. These are perfect killing machines. Chief Science Officer Nex studied the display. The territorial marking behavior suggests pack intelligence. They may coordinate attacks against larger threats. Like us, Engineer Zill added. Her crystal body chimed softly with worry. Commander Vex looked at his officers. Recommendations? Full military response, Knox said immediately. We bring our heavy weapons, energy shields, combat armor. We treat this as a major threat elimination mission. How many bears are we facing? Vex asked. Lieutenant Kex checked his sensors. At least 15 within our operational area, possibly more. They appear to move in small groups of 2 or 3. Pack hunters, Knox growled. Even worse, they will use coordinated attacks to bring down larger prey. Engineer Zill raised a concern. What about the humans? They live among these creatures daily. Should we not ask for their advice? The humans are civilians, Knox replied. They have survived through luck or hiding. We need military solutions, not civilian fear. Commander Vex made his decision. We will mount a preemptive strike. Eliminate the bears before they can organize a major attack. Lieutenant Kex, prepare the assault team. Yes, Commander. How many soldiers? Take 20 of our best fighters, full combat gear, heavy weapons. We end this threat today. The alien base transformed into a military operation. Soldiers checked their weapons and armor. Energy packs were loaded. Battle plans were drawn. Everyone prepared for war against the forest monsters. Dr. Park So-Min arrived at the alien camp that morning. She had walked from the human station to continue their scientific discussions. The sight that greeted her was shocking. Armed aliens marched in formation. Heavy weapons were being loaded onto hover platforms. The peaceful research camp had become a military fortress. Commander Vex, So-Min called out. What is happening here? The tall blue alien turned to face her. Dr. Park, you should not be here. It is too dangerous. We are preparing to deal with the bear threat. Bear threat? So-Min looked confused. What bear threat? The apex predators, in your forest. Last night one of them approached your station. We must eliminate them before they attack your people. So-Min tried not to smile. Commander, I think there might be some misunderstanding. The bears are not really a threat if you follow basic safety rules. Security Chief Knox stepped forward. His reptilian features showed concern. Dr. Park, these creatures are extremely dangerous. Our scans show they have incredible strength and predatory intelligence. Well, yes, bears are strong, So-Min agreed. But they mostly eat fish and berries. They only become dangerous if you surprise them or get between a mother and her babies. Lieutenant Kex approached with his scanner. Doctor, look at this data. These bears have claws capable of cutting through steel, jaws that can crush bones. How do you survive among such monsters? So-Min looked at the scanner readings. The measurements were accurate, but the interpretation was wrong. These are just normal bear characteristics. Yes, they are big and strong, but they are not monsters. We just need to be careful and respectful. Respectful? Commander Vex asked. To apex predators? Bears are not trying to hunt humans, So-Min explained. They want to avoid conflict just like we do. We store our food properly so they do not come looking for it. We make noise when we walk in the forest so we do not surprise them. Simple precautions. The aliens exchanged worried glances. This human clearly did not understand the danger she was in. Engineer Zill stepped closer. Dr. Park, last night a bear came very close to your station. Were you not afraid? A bear came by last night? So-Min thought for a moment. Oh, probably looking for garbage. Did it get into anything? We do not know. Our sensors lost contact when it reached your buildings. Then it probably just sniffed around and left. That is normal bear behavior. They are curious but not aggressive unless threatened. Security Chief Knox could not believe what he was hearing. Doctor, you speak of these creatures as if they were harmless animals. They are not harmless, So-Min corrected. But they are not evil monsters either. Bears are just large wild animals trying to find food and raise their families. Commander. Vex felt frustrated. This human seemed to have no concept of proper threat assessment. Dr. Park, our military analysis shows these bears are extremely dangerous. We must eliminate them for everyone's safety. Eliminate them? So-Min looked shocked. Commander, you cannot just kill the bears. This is their forest. They were here long before we arrived. They are apex predators threatening our mission. They are just animals living their normal lives. If you want to avoid problems with bears, I can teach you the safety procedures we use. Lieutenant Kex shook his head. Doctor, with respect, civilian survival techniques are not adequate for military operations. We need permanent solutions. So-Min realized the aliens were serious about attacking the bears. Their advanced technology and weapons would turn a simple wildlife encounter into a massacre. Commander, please wait, she said urgently. Let me bring Dr. Kim Dae-ho here. He has much more experience with the local wildlife. Maybe he can explain better than I can. There is no time, Knox replied. Every moment we delay gives these predators more opportunity to organize an attack. Bears do not organize attacks, So-Min insisted. They are solitary animals most of the time. Our data shows coordinated territorial behavior, Lieutenant, Kex argued. So-Min sighed. The aliens had convinced themselves that the bears were military threats. Their advanced sensors and tactical thinking were making normal animal behavior seem like strategic planning. What if I come with you? She offered. I can help you understand bear behavior when you encounter them. Absolutely not, Commander, Vex said firmly. This is a combat mission. Civilians cannot be involved. But I might be able to prevent unnecessary violence. Security Chief Knox stepped between them. Doctor, return to your station immediately, lock your doors, and stay inside until we have cleared the area of these predators. So-Min looked around at the armed aliens preparing for battle, heavy weapons charged with deadly energy, armor designed to withstand the attacks of galactic war beasts. All of it aimed at creatures that mostly wanted to eat salmon and take naps. This is a mistake, she said quietly. The mistake would be allowing these apex predators to remain active, Commander Vex replied. We launched the operation in 1 hour. So-Min realized she could not stop them. The aliens were too convinced of the danger. Their military mindset could not accept that apex predators might be manageable through simple coexistence. She walked quickly back toward the human station. Someone needed to warn Dae-ho and the others. The forest was about to become a battlefield, because the galaxy's most advanced military had never learned how to live peacefully with bears. Behind her, the final preparations continued. Weapons were loaded. Battle formations were planned. The most sophisticated fighting force in the galaxy prepared to wage war against creatures that were probably napping in sunny clearings or fishing in quiet streams. None of the aliens questioned whether their enemy actually wanted to fight. The alien assault team moved through the forest like shadows of death. 20 of the galaxy's finest warriors advanced in perfect formation. Their armor gleamed with energy shields. Their weapons hummed with deadly power. Lieutenant Kex led the formation. His 4 arms carried different pieces of equipment: motion sensors, heat detectors, communication devices, plasma rifle. He was ready for anything the forest predators might try. Behind him, Security Chief Knox coordinated the other soldiers. The reptilian warrior had fought in dozens of battles across the galaxy. He had faced war beasts from the ice worlds of Sigma, Prime. He had survived the poison jungles of Vega 7, but this mission felt different, more dangerous. Movement ahead, whispered one of the scouts. The silver-furred alien pointed through the trees. Large heat signature. 200 meters. Lieutenant Kex raised his scanner. The readings made his compound eyes widen. Confirmed. Massive creature. 400 pounds minimum. It is moving toward us. Battle formation, Knox commanded quietly. Energy shields at maximum. Weapons ready. The soldiers spread out in a defensive circle. Each warrior found cover behind trees or rocks. 20 plasma rifles aimed toward the approaching heat signature. Range closing, Kex reported. 100. 50 meters. 100. 50. The forest fell silent. No birds sang. No insects buzzed. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. The predator was close enough to smell now. Close enough to hear breathing. There, one soldier pointed. Through the trees, a massive shape moved slowly forward. Brown. Fur rippled over enormous muscles. The creature walked on 4 legs but looked ready to rear up at any moment. Its head was huge. Its mouth showed glimpses of sharp teeth. Target acquired, Knox whispered into his communicator. Beginning assault in 3 seconds. All units fire on my command. The bear stopped walking. It lifted its head and sniffed the air. Something was wrong in its territory. Strange smells, unusual sounds. The bear rose up on its back legs to get a better view. To the aliens, this was the attack signal they had been waiting for. The apex predator was showing its full size, an aggression. 8 feet of muscle and claws preparing to charge. Fire! Knox shouted. 20 plasma rifles discharged at once. The forest lit up with energy beams. Trees exploded where the blasts hit. The ground burned with superheated impact craters. The bear dropped to all 4 legs and ran. It crashed through the underbrush as fast as its legs could carry it. Energy blasts scorched the trees around it, but the panicked animal was already gone. Target eliminated? One soldier asked. Lieutenant Kex checked his scanner. Negative. The creature escaped into the deeper forest, but we damaged its territory. It will think twice before returning. That was too easy, Knox said suspiciously. Apex predators do not flee so quickly. It must be planning a counterattack. The sound of human laughter echoed through the forest. The aliens spun around, weapons ready. Engineer Lee Han-Sol stepped out from behind a tree. He was holding his sides and laughing so hard he could barely stand. What is so amusing? Knox demanded, pointing his rifle at the human. You! Han-Sol gasped between laughs. All of you. 20 soldiers with energy weapons attacking one confused bear. Confused? Lieutenant Kex lowered his scanner. That creature was preparing to attack us. No, it was not. Han-Sol wiped tears from his eyes. It was just trying to figure out what you were. Bears stand up when they want to see better. It is normal behavior. You are wrong, Knox insisted. We have studied these apex predators. They show aggressive territorial behavior. Territorial? Maybe. Aggressive? Only if threatened. Han-Sol looked around at the burn marks on the trees. You probably scared it more than it scared you. More humans emerged from the forest. Dr. Kim Dae-ho approached carefully. Behind him came Dr. Park So-min and young researcher Cho Min-ki. They all looked amused but concerned. We heard the weapons fire, Dae-ho explained. We came to see if anyone was hurt. We are fine, Commander Vex said. He had arrived with reinforcements after hearing the battle. We successfully drove off. One of the apex predators. You mean you scared away a bear that was probably looking for berries? So-min corrected. Dr. Park, that creature was over 8 feet tall when it stood up. It had massive claws and showed clear, aggressive posture. Bears are big, Dae-ho agreed. But standing up does not mean they want to fight. It means they are curious or trying to identify a smell. Cho Min-ki walked over to examine the scorch marks on the trees. Wow, your weapons are really powerful. Good thing you missed the bear. We were not trying to kill it, Lieutenant Keck said quickly. We were establishing dominance, showing the creature that we are not easy prey. The bear already knew you. We're not prey, Han-Sol said. Bears do not hunt humans. We are too big and too much trouble. They prefer fish and plants. Engineer Zill approached the group. Her crystal body reflected the sunlight filtering through the damaged trees. If these bears do not hunt humans, why do you take precautions against them? Same reason you lock your doors at night, Somin explained. Not because you expect burglars, but because it is smart to be careful. Bears can be dangerous if surprised or cornered, but mostly they want to avoid us. Your scans showed territorial marking, Commander Vex pointed out. Claw marks on trees, organized patrol routes. Bears scratch trees to mark territory, Deho confirmed. But it is not military planning. It is just telling other bears, this is my area for finding food. Like putting a sign on your property, Han Sol added. The aliens looked at each other uncertainly. Their tactical analysis had interpreted every normal bear behavior as a military threat. Territorial marking became strategic planning. Curiosity became aggression. Normal animal caution became predatory stalking. You live among these creatures without weapons or armor, Knox observed. How? Respect and common sense, Deho replied. We do not leave food where bears can find it. We make noise when walking in thick forest so we do not surprise them. We give them space to go about their business. That is all? Lieutenant Kex asked. That is all, Somin confirmed. Bears and humans have shared the same areas for thousands of years on Earth. We learned how to coexist, Cho Min-ki laughed. My grandfather used to camp in areas with lots of bears. He said the secret was hanging your food high in trees and never feeding them intentionally. You camp among apex predators for recreation? Engineer Zill sounded amazed. Bears make camping more interesting, Min-ki admitted, but not really dangerous if you follow the rules. Commander Vex felt confused and embarrassed. His military force had just attacked a creature that posed no real threat. Their sophisticated weapons and tactics had been used against an animal that only wanted to mind its own business. Perhaps we should return to base, he said quietly. Good idea, Han Sol agreed. That bear is probably telling all his friends about the crazy aliens with the loud weapons. You might have trouble getting close to any wildlife for a while. As the aliens gathered their equipment and prepared to leave, they could hear the humans discussing the incident with amusement. 20 soldiers against one bear, Somin chuckled. The bear was probably more scared than they were, Deho added. I wish I had recorded it, Min-ki said. Nobody back on Earth would believe this story. The aliens walked back through the forest in silence. Their mighty weapons felt heavy and unnecessary. Their advanced armor seemed foolish for fighting creatures that did not want to fight. Behind them, the forest slowly returned to normal. Birds began singing again. Insects resumed their buzzing. Somewhere in the distance, a bear was probably wondering why strange beings had made so much noise and light in its territory. The galaxy's most advanced military force had just learned their first lesson about Earth wildlife. Bears were dangerous. Yes, but they were not monsters. They were just large animals trying to live their lives in peace. The humans had been sharing space with such creatures for millennia. What the aliens saw as an impossible survival challenge, humans treated as a minor inconvenience requiring basic precautions. It would take the aliens some time to understand the difference between managing risk and declaring war. Back at the alien camp, confusion filled every tent. The soldiers who had participated in the bear encounter sat in small groups, talking quietly. Their confidence was shaken. Everything they thought they knew about apex predators had been challenged. By human laughter, Commander Vex called another meeting. This time, he invited the humans to join them. Dr. Kim Dae-ho, Dr. Park So-min, Engineer Lee Han-sol, and researcher Cho Min-ki sat at the conference table surrounded by alien officers. We need to understand, Commander Vex began. Our military analysis identified these bears as extreme threats, yet you humans treat them as minor concerns. Please explain how this is possible. Dae-ho looked around the table at the worried alien faces. I think the problem is in how you analyze the threat. You are looking at bears like they are enemy soldiers planning to attack you." "Are they not?" Lieutenant Kex asked. "Our scans show organized territorial behavior, coordinated movement patterns, strategic resource gathering." "All true," So-Min agreed. "But that is just normal animal behavior. Bears need territory for food and mates. They move through areas they know well. They gather food where it is abundant. This is survival, not warfare." Security Chief Knox leaned forward. "But they have incredible physical capabilities. Strength to tear through metal, speed to catch running prey. How do you defend against such power?" "We do not fight them," Han Sol explained simply. "Fighting. A bear is stupid. They are stronger than humans. They have bigger teeth and claws. We would lose." "Then how do you survive?" Engineer Zill asked. "We avoid conflicts," Deho said. "Bears do not want to fight us either. Fighting is dangerous for them too. They could get injured. Injured bears cannot hunt or protect their babies." Cho Min-ki nodded enthusiastically. "Bears are actually pretty lazy. They want to find food with minimum effort. Fighting takes a lot of energy. So both species prefer to avoid each other," Commander Vex concluded. "Exactly," So-Min said. "We give bears space. They give us space. Everyone stays safe." Lieutenant Kex brought up his data files. "Show us these coexistence methods you use." "Okay." Deho stood up. "First, food storage. Bears have incredible noses. They can smell food from miles away. So we use bear-proof containers." "Bear-proof?" Knox asked. Han Sol pulled out a small metal box. "Like this. Special latches that bears cannot figure out how to open. Keeps them from getting into our supplies." The aliens examined the simple container. The latch mechanism was basic but effective. Bears had strong paws but no fine motor control for complex manipulation. "This simple device stops apex predators?" Engineer Zill sounded amazed. "It stops hungry bears from becoming problem bears," So-Min corrected. "A bear that gets human food starts associating humans with easy meals. That is when they become dangerous." "Ah," Commander Vex understood. "Prevention rather than confrontation." "Right. We also make noise when walking in thick forest," Deho continued. "Bears do not like surprises. If they hear us coming, they usually leave the area." "You alert potential predators to your location?" Lieutenant Kex looked confused. "We alert them so they can avoid us," Han Sol explained. "Surprised bears are scared bears. Scared animals sometimes attack." Cho Min-ki demonstrated by clapping his hands loudly. "Like this. Or we talk loudly. Sing songs. Anything to let them know we are there." "On Earth, hikers often wear bells," So-Min added. "The sound travels ahead and gives bears time to move away." The aliens exchanged glances. This was completely opposite to their military training. "In combat, you stayed quiet to avoid detection by enemies." "What if a bear does not leave?" Security Chief Knox asked. "Depends on the situation," Deho replied. "If it is far away, we change direction, give it more space. If it is close, we stand still and speak calmly." "You do not run?" Engineer Zill asked. "Never run," all four humans said together. "Running triggers their chase instinct," Han Sol explained. "Bears are much faster than humans. Running just gets you caught." "What about fighting?" Lieutenant Kex wanted to know. "Last resort only," So-Min said, "and only if the bear actually attacks." "Which is very rare. Most bear encounters end with both sides walking away." Commander Vex studied the humans carefully. "You have turned apex predator management into a science of avoidance." "More like common sense," Deho replied. "Humans have been dealing with large predators for hundreds of thousands of years. We learned that cooperation works better than confrontation." "Cooperation?" Knox looked skeptical. "Sure. Bears eat fish and berries. They fertilize plants with their waste. They control populations of smaller animals. The forest is healthier with bears in it." They serve an ecological function, Somin added. Remove the bears and the whole system becomes unbalanced, Chominki smiled. Plus, bears are actually pretty interesting to watch, from a safe distance, of course. The aliens sat quietly, processing this information. Their military mindset had seen only threats and targets. The humans saw neighbors to be respected and understood. Show us more of these coexistence techniques, Commander Vex requested. Over the next hour, the humans demonstrated various bear safety methods, how to set up a campsite in bear country, how to hang food properly, how to recognize bear sign and avoid active areas, how to behave if a bear was spotted nearby. The key is thinking like a bear, Hansol explained. What does it want? Food, safety, space for its family? Give it those things and it will leave you alone. Bears are not evil, Deho emphasized. They are not trying to hurt anyone. They are just large animals trying to survive. Lieutenant, Kex looked at his scanner data with new understanding. The territorial markings we found. The creature was just telling other bears this area had good food sources. Probably, Somin agreed. Bears mark trees near streams with lots of fish or clearings with good berries. And the patrol routes we detected. Daily movement between feeding areas and sleeping spots, Chominki suggested. Bears are creatures of habit. They use the same paths regularly. Engineer Zill realized something important. The bear that approached your station last night, it was not stalking you. It smelled something interesting. Hansol laughed. Probably our garbage containers. When it could not get into them, it went away to find easier food. Your bear-proof containers worked exactly as designed, Deho confirmed. Security chief. Knox felt embarrassed. We interpreted normal animal behavior as military tactics. Easy mistake, Somin said kindly. If you have never seen a bear before, they do look pretty intimidating. 400 pounds of muscle and claws would frighten any rational being, Commander Vex admitted. True, Hansol agreed. But 400 pounds of muscle that just wants to eat salmon and take naps in the sun. Context matters. The aliens began to understand. Their advanced technology had given them detailed information about bear capabilities, but they had no cultural knowledge about bear behavior. They saw weapons where humans saw tools for digging and climbing. They saw aggression, where humans saw normal animal caution. We owe these bears an apology, Lieutenant Kex said quietly. And we owe you humans our gratitude, Commander Vex added. You have taught us that intelligence sometimes means knowing when not to fight. Bears and humans have a lot in common, Deho observed. We both want safe places to raise our families. We both prefer easy solutions to hard problems. We both avoid unnecessary risks. Perhaps that is why coexistence works, Somin concluded. Similar goals make cooperation possible. The meeting ended with plans for the aliens to learn proper bear country protocols. No more military operations against wildlife. No more treating normal animal behavior as hostile action. The humans agreed to teach bear safety to any alien who wanted to learn. The aliens agreed to share their advanced sensors to help monitor bear populations and movements. It was the beginning of a new understanding between species. And somewhere in the forest, bears continued their daily routines, completely unaware that they had just become the galaxy's most famous example of successful human-predator coexistence. 3 days later, the forest around the human research station had become a classroom. Alien soldiers sat on fallen logs listening to Dr. Kim Dae-ho explain bear behavior. Their weapons were locked away. Their armor was replaced with simple hiking clothes borrowed from the humans. The most important thing to remember, Dae-ho said, is that bears are individuals. Each one has its own personality and habits. Lieutenant Kex raised one of his 4 hands. How do you tell the difference between individual bears? Size, color, scars, behavior, replied Dr. Park Somin. She pointed to a chart showing different bear markings. That big male we call Old Sam has a notch in his left ear. The mother with 2 cubs has a white patch on her chest. You have names for them? Engineer Zill asked. Her crystal body sparkled in the sunlight. Of course. Cho Min-ki laughed. We see the same bears regularly. They become like neighbors. Security Chief Knox looked uncomfortable. Is it wise to think of apex predators as neighbors? They are not. Apex predators to us, Engineer Lee Han-sol explained. They are just large animals sharing the same space, like having big dogs in the neighborhood. Very big dogs with very big teeth, Commander Vex observed. True, Dae-ho agreed. But dogs can be dangerous too if you do not understand them. The principle is the same: respect, caution, and common sense. Young technician Bae Sung-ho came running from the research station. Dr. Kim, come quickly. We have a situation. The group hurried back to the station. Near the main building, a medium-sized bear was investigating the solar panel array. It sniffed at the equipment and occasionally pawed at interesting objects. The aliens immediately reached for weapons that were not there. Their training told them to prepare for battle, but the humans remained calm. That is Curious Kate, So-min said quietly. She is always checking out new things in our area. Should we not drive it away? Lieutenant Kex whispered. No need, Han-sol replied. She is not bothering anything important. Let her satisfy her curiosity, and she will leave on her own. The aliens watched nervously as the bear continued its investigation. Kate stood up on her back legs to get a better look at the solar panels. To the aliens, this looked like preparation for an attack. To the humans, it was just normal bear behavior. Why is it doing that? Commander Vex asked quietly. Bears are very curious, Dae-ho explained. Kate probably smells something interesting on the equipment, maybe metal polish or electrical components. She will not damage anything? Bears are actually pretty careful when they are just exploring. They only get destructive when they are trying to get at food. After 10 minutes, Kate dropped back to all 4 legs and wandered away into the forest. The aliens let out a collective breath they had not realized they were holding. That was terrifying, admitted one of the younger alien soldiers. Really? Bae Sung-ho looked surprised. Kate is one of our most gentle bears. She has never caused any problems. You could tell that just by watching her? Engineer Zill asked. Body language, So-min explained. Relaxed posture, slow movements, no defensive behavior. Kate was just being curious, not aggressive. Over the following days, more bears appeared around the station. The aliens learned to recognize different individuals and their various behaviors. Old Sam, the large male, was territorial but peaceful. Mama Bear and her twins were cautious but not hostile. Young Bruno was playful and energetic. It is like watching a community, Commander Vex observed one evening. It is a community, Dae-ho agreed. Bears, humans, and now aliens, all sharing the same forest. Lieutenant Kex had become fascinated with bear social structures. His 4 arms worked constantly, taking notes and making observations. Their territorial system is much more complex than our initial scan suggested. Bears are smarter than most people realize, Han-sol said. They remember individual humans. They learn our routines. Some bears even seem to recognize different people. Old Sam always shows up when Dr. Kim is working in the garden, Bae Sung-ho added. I think he likes watching the planting process. Probably. Hopes you will drop some vegetables, So-min laughed. The cultural exchange worked both ways. The humans learned about alien technology and galactic civilization. The aliens learned about practical wilderness skills and animal behavior. Engineer. Zill became expert at identifying bear tracks and signs. Her precise crystal vision could spot details that others missed. Security Chief Knox developed a grudging respect for human survival methods. Lieutenant Kex created detailed behavioral studies that impressed even the human scientists. Your people have remarkable adaptation skills, Commander Vex told Deho one afternoon. Most galactic species would not survive in an environment with such large predators. Most galactic species probably never had to, Deho replied. Humans evolved alongside dangerous animals. We learned to coexist or we died out. Your species chose cooperation over conquest. We chose survival, Somin corrected. Fighting every dangerous animal would have exhausted our resources. Learning to live alongside them was more efficient. Commander Vex made notes in his official report. The Galactic Federation could learn from human methods. We often use military solutions where diplomatic ones might work better. Not everything has to be a battle, Han Sol agreed. The final test came when a family of bears decided to cross through the camp during their evening walk. Mama Bear led her 2 cubs along a path that ran directly between the human station and the alien tents. The aliens froze in place. Their instincts screamed danger. But the humans continued their normal activities, just speaking quietly and moving. Slowly. Stay calm, Deho murmured. Let them pass. They are just going to the stream. The bear family walked through the camp without incident. The cubs were playful and curious, but Mama Bear kept them moving. Within minutes, they had disappeared into the forest on the other side. Incredible, breathed Commander Vex. Apex predators walking through our living space. Just neighbors passing by, Cho Min-ki said casually. That night, Commander Vex sent his final report to Galactic Federation headquarters. He recommended humanity for advanced species status and suggested that human wildlife management techniques be studied by other civilizations. These humans, he wrote, have mastered the art of living peacefully with dangerous creatures. They show that intelligence and adaptability can overcome physical limitations. Their methods of coexistence should be shared throughout the galaxy. On the morning of departure, the aliens gathered to say goodbye. Many had formed friendships with the human researchers. Lieutenant Kex promised to return with more scientists interested in bear behavior studies. Engineer Zill wanted to establish a permanent cultural exchange program. You have changed how we think about many things, Commander Vex told the assembled humans. Not just about bears, but about problem-solving in general. You taught us that the galaxy is full of amazing species with different ways of thinking, Deho replied. We look forward to learning more. Security Chief Knox approached with something that looked like embarrassment. I owe an apology to the bears we frightened with our weapons. They were just living their lives peacefully. Bears are forgiving, Han Sol smiled. They have probably already forgotten about it. As the alien ships prepared to depart, Old Sam appeared at the edge of the forest. The big bear stood up on his back legs and seemed to watch the proceedings. Commander Vex waved at the bear, who dropped back down and wandered away. I think he was saying goodbye, So Min observed. Or wondering what all the noise was about, Bei sung.